Hi there, everybody. It is Jamie again today with another success story interview with you. And this one today is with Toni, and she is with the Painted Roadrunner. So when you hop on here, go ahead and say hi to Toni. And Toni, I have just been letting the people who I'm interviewing kind of tell a little bit about their story and introduce themselves. So go for it.
Okay, I'm Toni Landis, and I am with the Painted Roadrunner. If you haven't guessed by my first few words, I am here in Texas, close to Fort Worth, born and raised. So you will hear that accent. And as Jamie said, it's Southern as cornbread. I'm just gonna say, but
I had never heard that before.
I had heard that, but when I saw her comment that, I just laughed hysterically. But I have been doing mobile paint parties since 2019, and that's kind of where I saw Jamie because we're in kind of some business groups together. Didn't really know her, and then fast forward, I started that in 2019, but then we had COVID. I was in the middle of building a house, just getting married at 54 or what 50, whatever it was. Anyway, just getting married. So kind of the paint parties went on hold. I had a fear of going live, so I let that hold me back for a year. And then I think it was 2021, I decided to step out and go live and start doing that. So that was a big, huge step for me. And then I met Jamie in person in 2022 at
Just
a
about a year
business.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a year ago at a business function, and just connected with her immediately. We kind of have some of the same, like there's things of our story that are similar, and finding our soulmate at late in life, that type of thing. But met her, loved her, and there was an immediate trust that I can't, you know it if you have that with someone, especially when she said you want to surround yourself with 5 people doing what you want to do and living the life you want to live, and she's one of my 5 people. So I just loved her immediately. So the minute I heard that she was going to have this course, I was like, I just need to know more. So fast forward, I'm doing paint parties. I'm dreaming of launching a membership and wanted to launch that last June. And I had taken other business courses, and I'm one of those constant learners. So I can be so busy learning that I never stop to implement. So last fall, I had been hit with everything from June on. I got COVID for a month in July. And just every time I tried to launch, the world just, Satan was hot on my trail because he knew I was going to do it eventually. And he was like trying to persuade me to be distracted and all the things. But when Jamie, I don't even know how, I guess I was communicating with her and knew about the course. But when I heard the topics, you just know sometimes that it's speaking to you. And I just knew this is what I needed in that season. And boy, was I ever right. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you, but that was the beginning of the greatness that this course has helped me with.
Great. Oh, that's so awesome. Hey, I see Jenny popping on.
Hi,
Another
Jenny.
another one of the Create alumni, and also Jamie, who I interviewed, and
Hi, Jamie.
she is showing up, and a couple of other people. If you want to go ahead and say hi to Toni so we can know who is watching. Um, yeah, I was thinking that I think that we met on a Zoom, like a breakout session
Yes,
at
we met
some
on
point.
a breakout session. That was the first time
And
I'd really heard you or
and there was
whatever.
something that we wanted to talk about more. I
Yes.
remember, and then we got on our own Zoom or
Yes.
Messenger together and chatted. And I think since then it was, yeah, we would just kind of chat every once in a while. And so, one of the two things, and I have a couple of other questions for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember being in Texas last year and getting to meet you in person, and that's always just so much more fun to be able to, to meet up in person. And I remember talking about the Create course, and I kind of remember like
Yes.
where we were standing, and I
Oh, we
remember
were outside after everything was over, and we were sitting by the fire pit thing, or it was over to the side of us. But
And
that's when I said, I'm all in. You were
yeah,
talking about the course, and I said, I'm all in.
because, well, this is specifically what I remember. I remember telling you that I had a special bonus that I hadn't offered the first time that I was going to offer this
I
time.
do remember that.
And I remember, and I can picture you doing this. You said, just hook the fish hook in there. And
I
just
did. I did say that.
And I thought, oh, that must be one of those Southern sayings, because I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that.
Probably someone from the South will get that, but yes, it is.
It might have been. It might have been. And then, I was kind of going back through when I had offered these videos before, and the ones in the fall specifically that I was talking about, I think it was energy, the same topic that I had today that I was talking about. And I mentioned a book and how I was reading book quotes inside of the CBOB group, which is my Creative Business Owner Basics group, which Toni is in. And that's a lot more of where I talk about the course. And after I was doing those book quotes, sometimes I wouldn't have very many people watch those or listen to those, but I knew that they were helpful. So I kept doing those. And afterwards, when Toni was saying that she had COVID, she shared with me that those book quotes were something that she looked forward to during that time that she had COVID. And that really touched me to know, sometimes we do things and we don't know how they impact people. So that was something that I just always kind of remember. And I talked about it in the videos that I did in the fall.
That was huge for us because my husband never gets sick. I've been with him. I've known him for over 8 years or 7.5 years, and he has never been sick. But last July we got COVID, and both of us were down for a complete. We were in the house down for a complete month, and literally, we got a HelloFresh box, and I cooked 3 meals, feeling like death. And he said, I knew then you were one of the strongest women I've ever met, because I really didn't want to cook and I really felt bad. And he stayed in the recliner. I stayed in the bedroom, and we just kind of coexisted for about a month. And it was horrible.
Wow.
I've never been that sick. But the highlight of each time that you would do a book quote, it would give me encouragement. And it could be about business 101, I don't know, but it would just be encouraging, like keep on going. And so it was very helpful during that time.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. And yeah, they were just random quotes that I would pick out and be able to. Oh, I see Debbie popping on here too. She's another one of the Create alumni. So very cool. Well, Toni, you talked a little bit about kind of what your business was like and what you were doing, and you had heard about the course. And so we kind of have a picture of like what your life was like afterwards. And I know we've talked a little bit about, kind of what impacted you from the course, but and you talked about why you wanted to sign up for the course because you kind of saw the different topics. What's different now from finishing the course? We finished in September, or no, at the beginning of December, around in there is when we finished. Like, what's different from December until now?
So many things. I probably don't have time to list them all, but first of all, the course just gave me the foundation and the fundamentals for anything.
Fundamentals, I like that word too.
Well, not just for business, but not just for. I'm going through a time right now. My mother's got ALS, and it's very, very hard. I think back to things I learned in that course that's helping me stay this course that's very hard. The rest, the energy, the foundation of, and my favorite thing that you always say is create the life you love. And right now, I don't really love everything about this journey. But the thing I am embracing is the things that I get to do as a privilege to my mother. I don't look at it as a burden. So, but I have implemented each one of those things, and I have kept them going. They are consistent. And I feel like that wasn't just to launch me business wise. And I'm not going to cry. I promised myself I would not. I'm a crier, but I think God already knew what was going to happen in December after the course was over. My mom was diagnosed at the end of December, right after the
Oh,
course
I
completed.
did not even think
Hmm.
of that.
And
I
so
just got like chills all over.
I really believe that God, number one, wanted me to launch, and he wanted to get me unstuck. But I think he had to get me unstuck from all of the things so that I could move forward in this next season, because there's no way I could have done it in the mindset I was in September. Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, and that's
And
what a lot of people have told me. Really, the course is all about a mindset. And
it really,
that really is kind of why I saw that there was a struggle, a
mm-hmm,
challenge with creative people, that they didn't have that mindset. They didn't have the foundation, and they were struggling. They thought that they needed the right strategy. They
mm-mm.
thought that they needed the right list to check off. That's not what it is, because you're never going to have all of those things. But if you have these 6 foundational practices, just like you were
well,
talking about, you can
well,
get unstuck.
I think it was a follow up too, because in 2017 I did a radical mindset change, and I quit because I'm everyone's number one cheerleader, encourager. I was positive. Everybody thought I was positive, but on the inside, I was so mean to myself. The self
Oh,
talk was, I thought you would never say some of these things to the people you care about. And I would never, I was always uplifting, but I was so not uplifting for myself. And so I did kind of a radical thing, and changed a lot of things. My self-talk, I lost 50 pounds. Of course I need to lose it again, but I did a lot of things, and I changed that mindset. In fact, in 2016, right before the whole 2017, I had always said, I'm never going to meet my husband. I'm never going to have a husband. I'm never. Well, if you say never, it'll never happen, because never is predicting your future. You're never going to have it. So in 2016, I said to my boss, I had just done a marriage license, not going to tell that story, but I just done a marriage license at the county for someone. And I walked back and I said, you know what? I'm going to start believing that God has the perfect husband for me. 12 days later, I had my date with my husband, and we are now married
wow.
almost 5 years.
I didn't know that it was so close together. I know you had told me a little bit about that story. That's very
So your
cool.
words are, I did something on my page the other day about words, and words are very powerful. To, I'll just tell each of you, words are powerful. Whatever you speak will come to pass. If
Yep.
you only say never, and you say I'm this and I'm that, and it's all negative, well, then you'll never have that goal that you're reaching. You'll never have that membership. If you just wait. And getting to that, Jamie helped me get unstuck. So therefore it moved me forward, gave me the confidence and the strength that I now need in this season. So that strength and confidence in the days that my mom is struggling and it's hard for me, it helps me think, okay, Toni, you're enough. You're good enough. You love your mother. You're going to do everything for her. So see, y'all, it's not just business. So this course, I would say, if I was going to get on a commercial, I would say this course isn't only for the creative business owner. It's for anyone struggling to move forward, struggling to take that step. If you have parents that you're caring for and you just need that community,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this community was by far, and I'm in several communities, so I can speak to this, but this community by far was everything I needed and more. And I will sing Jamie's praises for him now because she is the real deal. She doesn't say something she doesn't do. She provides more than you can imagine. And it helped me go into this next season. And I honestly don't think I would have been as equipped to go through what I'm going through. I just don't think I would have.
Oh, I didn't know that I needed to show up with tissues, Toni.
I didn't. If it's me, you should. Just
Oh
should.
my goodness. I love some of the words that you were talking about, equipped, and I hadn't really thought about how you're tying it all together, that it came at exactly the right time, that you needed it and you decided, even though it sounds like you had taken other courses, and I know you've told me that Create is the first one that you finished. You did all the things, you watched all the things, you everything, and that was the first time that you had done that. So I can see where maybe when I presented it, you said, well, I can't do that because I've got all these other ones that I've never finished. And that
but
even,
for some reason I didn't say that when I was going to do yours. This is what I said. This seems like what I had this voice, which I know is God in my mind. It's God because I have his voice is distinctive in my life, but it was a voice like, you need to do this. And it was kind of like what Debbie said yesterday. If you need something like this, you will make a way.
yeah.
$10 Starbucks coffees, dinners out. My gosh, dinners out are getting so expensive.
Oh my
you can
goodness.
just about not go 5 times and pay for the course. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So I think what happened too is each one, thoughts and energy, all of them work together, not just one by themselves. But when I put it all together and changed my AM routine, I did have an AM routine. I did do a devotion each morning. I did pray. But when I added some different components that Jamie shows us, it took it to a next level. I've always been a prayer warrior. I love that title. If you're going to give me a title, I love that one more than anyone. But my AM routine now is by far has been what has seen me through literally the last 6 months. I mean,
and that is tomorrow's topic. So
yes.
yeah, I've already, anybody who's going to be watching tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern, that's what we're talking about.
Don't miss that one. Don't miss any of them, and go back and watch replay. I caught up today. So don't miss. Each one works together. And I love how it spells create, but I love by each one, you can't take one away and have the complete benefit, because when you put them all together, and really, I want to tell y'all something. Since I implemented these and the evening routine and all that, you'd think, oh my gosh, it just adds more to your day. Guess what? My days got longer when I added the things that God wanted me to add. He gave me more time. I know y'all are going to think that's
it does
crazy.
Work out that way. No,
it does. I promise you, it has worked out. When you follow what he's trying to get you to do, he will give you back more time. But when you're running from what you're supposed to do, you'll never have time for any of it. And that's so the truth.
Yeah.
So
I was smiling at how you talked about things fitting together and how you can't take one away. And that ties into the activity that we do inside of Create. And it just kind of made me smile because I had never thought about it that way, about how they all fit together, how you were saying it makes it a complete. Yeah.
And I really made a vow when I paid for this course. I really said, and her course has you get a lot for your money, but it was very easy to consume.
Yeah.
It was very consumable.
I'm all about making things easy. So for me, it has to be easy too.
It seems like when you're in there, well, you need to do this. But it was I won prizes. I've never won prizes in any group I paid to be in. I've never won prizes. So I won prizes. So that just kept me going and trying. And everything we did that fit together, and it is a puzzle piece. I'll let y'all learn about that later, but it all fits
Don't give
together.
Too much away.
I know. Okay. But it all goes together. Everything she does fits together, and it helps you. I honestly believe that it's not just for the creative business owner. Yes, it will benefit you 100%, but I think it benefits anyone that wants to move forward. If you're a chef, if you're whatever you are, or if you have a dream that you think can't ever happen, you're too old, you're too this. No, you're not. You're just stuck.
Yeah.
And you just need to get unstuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because thinking you're too old is a mindset.
Yeah.
And I give this story all the time. There's a lady, she's in one of the groups. I think she might even be in one of our business groups, but she's 75. She'd always dreamed of a create.
You talked about her.
Yes. She's always wanted to own a craft store. And she was 75 and finally opened her craft store. You guys, she could have kept saying, well, I'm too old and I'm too old and I'm too
not
this.
Enough.
But you know what? She kept on with her dream. And guess what? At 75, she's living her dream.
Yeah.
Like if we say we're too old, well, we will be too old because we're never going to get out of that.
Yeah. If you keep saying it. Yeah. I see
Mm-hmm.
some other people popping on. So Sherry said, that's right, Toni, never too old. So that's one of the
Yes.
times that you can say never.
Yes. Never too old. That's the only time you can say it is when
Yeah.
you say
And
never too old.
Jamie said it's the best community and environment ever. So, and then I
Yes.
see Diana popping on. So she was on here. And I think we said that I thought I saw Debbie Hightower on here too. So I wasn't sure if I pointed out. So everybody kind of saying hi and everything on
Mm-hmm.
there. So yeah. So that was one of the things that I remember you telling me, that you had finished everything inside Create. So I'll be sharing more next week about what the course and how it's laid
Mm-hmm.
out, and kind of what Toni was talking about, the different, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the 6 different topics, but there
Yes.
are lessons inside of each one. And
So
so
many fun things.
when I presented that, and I'll go over more of that
Yeah.
next week. But I think one of the things that boosted your confidence was that you were able to finish everything in the course. It never felt too overwhelming, because
Never.
I added in for the second time an implementation week. So that allowed some time to be able to get
And
caught
that's
up.
the part I was afraid of. I thought, what if I get in another course and I get overwhelmed and I don't finish? But what I did is, instead of keeping that attitude, I said it at the beginning, I joined, and then I made a vow to myself that I was going to spend so much time each week on that course. And it was just kind of like what y'all said yesterday, I think, or maybe Monday or Tuesday. Maybe it was yesterday, about time and about spending 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Yeah.
There's time. We just spend it in different ways, and you
Yeah.
can switch it around. But yes. And
Yeah. And
I
scheduling
will
that time
say,
in. Yeah.
this might be in another question, but I will say I just launched my membership and I just closed it. And do I have 25 or 100 members? No, but I have
You
6.
have the right members.
I do. I was just about that. You got there, but I have the most 6 wonderful people in my group, and I'm so blessed. And in my morning routine, 2 weeks before my launch and a week before my launch, I said, God, I don't care the number. I just want who you bring and who will benefit from this group.
Yeah.
And I know enough about Jamie is that she knows that what she has to provide and to give to you, but she also knows the people that need to be there will come.
Yeah.
And they will be there in the course.
Yeah. So Debbie says she's so excited that you launched.
And you know what? I want to say to you guys that are wanting to launch, I followed Jamie, and I didn't have all the things. You guys, several people have asked me, did you have a library? No. Did you have this? No. I had a PayPal link and a group page.
A Facebook group. Yep.
That's it. You guys, I hadn't, because I want them to grow with me. Now, I do have designs and I do have things sketched and I do have but I don't have any of them painted. And they know that.
Yeah.
But I had one lady message me and say, you know why I'm joining? She knows how to paint. You know why she's joining? Because she wanted to be on the journey with me. Do you know how humbling that is, that somebody is paying to be in my group? She probably paints better than I do. And she's in one of my business groups. She doesn't really have to come to my group, but she's coming because she thinks I have something to offer her.
Yeah, and there's something about
me to no end.
Getting in on that beginning level.
She said that.
Being part of the journey.
I love you, and I want to be on the beginning of your journey, and I want to support you. And I thought, I got off of the phone and I went in there and I had like little tears. My husband goes, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" And I was like, this lady, she sent me a message saying she's joining my membership. He goes, "Well, honey, that's great." And I go, "No, she's joining just because she loves me." I'm like, just because she trusts me. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, I know when I started sharing those kind of stories with my husband, he really liked those.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how I was impacting people,
mm-hmm.
and knowing how, the time that I put in or whatever, that was the return, was how I was impacting people.
There was something you said one time, I think, in one of the course things, if we keep putting it off, there'll always be something that comes up. But you also said if we keep putting it off, the person that needs our group, they're waiting for us.
Yeah.
They're waiting for us to step out and be courageous and do the thing, because they're waiting to, like this lady, she's waiting on me to launch so she could follow and be in my group.
And be part of it. Yeah. It's somebody else's quote. And the way that I remember it is, there are people out there that will never be their best until you show up as your best.
Yes.
That's not my quote. That's just,
Yes, but I've heard you say that before. I've heard you say that
I just follow people, and I just, borrow what they say. So I see Janet came on here. She must have been watching my video earlier, because she said, I'm not techie yet. And that word yet is just what I taught today. And I talk about it, to just about anybody to use that word yet after, because it does something to kind of switching,
I've
just
used
switching
that
your brain
so many times, because, and I have to just say one more thing, because I'm in another group that Jamie, and we're not talking about this right now, but y'all, she has another membership I'm a part of, and I'm tech challenged, but I'm getting there. I really am getting there.
Oh, you've shared this story.
I know, I've shared it so many times, but this is something, if you're following somebody and you're about to jump into one of their courses, you need to know that they're not just here for you on this week of boot camp. They're here for you during the course. They're not, I'm in one of her groups. I joined the first month. I am text challenged, but I have learned so much. I'm so proud of myself. But one night I just couldn't get it. And I was missing one step. And I knew I was missing one step. So I called Jamie. You guys, it's 10 o'clock here. But guess what? It's 11 o'clock. And I was messaging her because she was still on. And
she could see
goes,
that
Let
I was
me just call you. And we were on the phone for an hour with her helping me. And guess what? That helps me each month. I think about, wow, she gave me an hour of her time because I am in her group, but she didn't have to step up and give more. It's just it's a group for engagement, and she didn't have to do an hour phone call at 11 o'clock at night. So that stands out to me. That's somebody I want to follow. That's somebody that I want to trust, because she steps up and helps her people and doesn't just leave us dangling out there like, and she could have said, I'll get back with you tomorrow. But you know what? She was on. And she said, let's just do it. Yeah. I don't think she knew it was going to be an hour later, but it was okay. And she was as friendly as she is right here. So it's no different. She's the same here, same there, same everywhere. So that's important to know when you're going to follow somebody.
Yeah, that is true. One of the people, I do a little ceremony at the end of Create. And one of the comments when I asked them, what did they like most or value the most from Create, and somebody said, you're accessible.
Yes, I've said that, but I wasn't on that live. But I think you're very accessible.
Yeah, and I just remember that, and I might not always be able to be that accessible. Yes. So I try to be when I can, and I just happen to be on that night. And
but I think you gave us so much in the course that there didn't have to be those we had so many Zooms, we had so many things, and that's, goes to it goes all into other things she'll go over next week. But there were so many things that you still were accessible, just in different ways.
Yeah. And I do set boundaries around that. Yes, so it's not just like I'm accessible all the time. Yes. I choose when to be accessible, but
well, and I was almost in tears, so I'm really appreciative that you were accessible. I was like, no, I'm just missing one thing. But anyway.
But now you're able to do those, and you figured it out.
I've got it down to 14 minutes. 14 minutes.
That's really good.
And that's somebody that was not tech savvy. But each time I do something, the other day I figured out something, and I was in here going, woohoo! And my husband walked in and goes, what are you doing? I go, I figured out something new all by myself.
That's so funny. I think that I got those posts down to about 19 minutes. So
14 is with no interruptions and just nonstop, not even looking up to answer
Yeah, it's
anybody or
amazing
anything.
what you can get done if you're focused like that.
See, and it goes back to that power, 2 hour power y'all were talking about either yesterday or
like a power hour.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Toni, this has been so much fun, and I've said the people that I'm interviewing, I'm trying to keep them to about 15 or 20 minutes.
Oops.
We just kept chatting, and people were over here in the comments. So the last question that I had for you is, are you planning on taking Create again?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are you looking forward to the most?
I think this time it's going to be more of building on top of what it started for me in the fall, because I really need it now. I need to know how to rest when I need to rest. I need to know how to keep grounded. I need to know when to say yes, and I need my AM routine to continue. I think I'm just it's gonna continue for me. I think now that I've got my membership going, I just think it's gonna be the thing that keeps me on track and keeps
you accountable.
And I really think I'm one of those learners that think you can always learn something, even if you're taking something again. I think there's going to be something that stands out to me this time that maybe didn't stand out to me last time.
Yeah, definitely. And there's going to be new people. I know that was one of the things that somebody had mentioned.
So I want to encourage other people to have a great experience and to be open and to do the whole course, because it all works together.
Yeah. And the thing is, I have learned new things since the course.
We get to learn new things.
Fall. So yes, I have some new ideas, new bonuses, and some new things. And so it's always different.
Yes.
The core content of the course is similar, the same, but the extras, the community, the people that are in there, and the bonuses and things that I add are going to be different. So
yes,
I see. Oh, Debbie, look at this. Debbie says, "You're my tribe."
Oh, you're my tribe too.
That's so sweet. Oh, hey there, Nilda popped on, and she said, "Thank you, Toni and Jamie." Aww. So, well, if you have any questions about Create, make sure that you reach out to Toni. Obviously, it made a big impact on her, and she implements a lot of the things, so she would be a great person to ask about that. And the one last thing that I want to say is you need to make sure that you are following both Toni and I, because next Thursday, you might see a picture of the two of us without the screen in between us, because I'm going to be in Texas and I'm going to be able to see Toni in person.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. So we've got 8 days.
I'm counting. I've got it in my calendar.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you everybody for showing up, and thank you, Toni, for letting us hear more of your story.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a joy. So, okay. Bye everybody.